Welcome back to Downtime Activities, and welcome back to Skygate, our 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons campaign that takes place in the Dwarven Hold of Skygate, and the terrifying Underdark beneath, and the far more terrifying parties! This time, the group, in different levels of attire and as different levels of guests, are all headed to a big dwarven shindig at the Cragcrown estate, it would seem. A royal party of dwarven clan leaders and dwarven nobility, as well as other important people.
Glad he finally found an excuse to fight you over so you could meet the family.
Yeah. He's introducing you to his mom.
Oh no.
Oh no.
You guys have one day before the party is here to do with as you see fit. I believe last time kind of got your affairs in order as far as who you're going with, how you're arriving there, what you're wearing. But anything else you'd like to do in preparation or unrelated?
I think I need to buy some health potions.
Okay, you can certainly. You could go to Troll Spitz, and Malkis will sell you like the base healing potion at the normal cost.
I'll go to the store and buy liquid IV.
Oh, you can get a potion of lesser restoration.
How much is a bag of holding?
A bag of holding is fairly. It's not. If you're trying to get one from the Rune Hearts, it'll run you 1,500 gold.
Dang. They're pricey. But it's also like, I feel like bags of holding are also one of those items that, like, the DMG is like, yeah, they're not too expensive, but, like, in reality, they'd be so expensive.
Yes.
Because it's like,
but they would also
so
be
useful.
mass-produced out the ass, so that would bring the cost down.
Depending on how much.
How much for an ass of holding?
That's extra.
One unforgettable night of holding.
How much is a standard health potion?
50 gold.
Okay. So,
Except in the punk
5
areas around
platinum.
Skate, which gets there 150. I keep saving up for my super full.
So 1, 2, extra 3.
You can go play the
I'm gonna go to.
Saving up for it.
Oh.
I'm just gonna go to the bronze tap and drink my sorrows away for right now as I grasp with the fact that I have to actually dress up.
Okay. You can certainly get a drink at the bronze.
If I go to the party
It's
and
not
I
that
order
bad,
a full
bud.
plate of Draxus is not one for dressing up.
Will I get full plate?
It'll cost you 1,500.
I thought this was a royal party. They could afford it.
But if you go and buy some alcohol, they will get you some Fireflex for free.
What's that?
That's the little crunchy, spicy dough bites that they serve as like a snack.
Dough bites. I don't need armor.
I don't need armor. Why would I adventure when I could go here and drink these little spicy dough bites?
The adventurer's conundrum is like, I have enough money that I can just retire, but I'm an adventurer and I don't want to retire.
But I'm also an alcoholic, so I also want to retire. Anything, I mean, you guys certainly can go drink a bit, make merry. Anything else, any other stuff you're wanting to do?
Marry who?
Why are we making her?
Marry.
Marry her. I barely know her.
What else is there to check up on?
No, who's on site?
We don't really have.
I'm frantically pacing in the room, realizing that I have to be a good girl and not be a hooligan at this party.
We don't really have any leads to chase down currently. We don't really have any, like, business deal type stuff up in the air.
It's just
I want to go down that extra planar tunnel real bad.
Me too.
Our only real
No.
lead is to harvest extra player goo. Well, we also just need to get the writ thing. Maybe we could just convince some noble.
Well, that's what going to the party is really affecting. Is
Yeah.
we want to like put our names out there as heroic adventurers that have done a lot of good for the city. And did we ever report that to the guards?
Oh yeah, we never reported that
we
had
were
murdered a
kind
bunch
of-
slaves.
we were kind
God,
of-
we are heroic adventurers.
We were-
Hi.
we-
Also, you know those slavers who showed up murdered? That was us.
We also were kind of intentionally not doing that on account of.
We didn't want our names connected.
Hey, everybody within. You also do know from your conversation with Aurora after saving her that that by their understanding, Lila Swampteeth has a connection with one of the great clans of the city.
Right. So we do not
So
want
if
our
you
names
want
on this.
to
Yeah.
be like, oh, what done it was us, to all the leaders of all the great clans in the city,
Yeah.
that's up to you.
Also,
but that could
Maybe we need to have like
Well,
a little
we're just
a little sit rep,
we're
a little
just waiting
OPSEC
for round
conversation
2
here.
with that lady.
Yeah, we need a little OPSEC conversation here.
We have a briefing before we go to this party.
Right. Don't talk about going down with the Ruby Fists, because that's hush hush.
Right, because they're not supposed to have a
Right.
backdoor into the Underdark.
Don't talk about the slavers and how we murdered them in
And
the
stole
hack.
all the
Right.
illegal slave money.
Right. Anything else I'm forgetting that we need? Don't mention the Crimson Fox, but I don't know you would.
I don't think they'd have any idea who he was. Even if
Don't
they
be slobbering fool.
did. Honestly, he would probably prefer if we. He
Yeah.
would probably like us to mention him, which is probably good reason enough not to mention him to him.
Yeah. Any other adventures that we need to keep under our hats?
Oh, okay. I'm taking bets right now. I'm going to write these down.
Oh,
What are the odds a Crimson Fox rides a chandelier, cuts the rope and rides a chandelier up at this party?
When the Hell Portal opens.
The Crimson Fox.
I've
That's
got,
to save the day.
I've got 10 gold. If anybody wants to take over this, I've got 10 gold on the fact that the Crimson Fox will cut the rope on a chandelier
I'll take that
and
action.
ride it up.
Do
Okay.
dwarves like chandeliers?
10 for, 10 against. Anyone else
don't
getting in
know.
on this?
I'm not
I don't know. I'm not a gambling man.
Yeah, that's a little too high profile for him. He doesn't, he doesn't
I'm gonna
want
do
anybody to
10
figure out his
against.
identity.
10 against?
Yeah.
I'll put another 10 up.
Keep it
against
even.
you as well.
I'll do 10 against.
I'm not going to keep matching everyone.
Trudolf would.
He's not a dwarf.
Technically, I have enough money to match everybody's bets at 10 gold, but
Do it.
doesn't mean he wants to.
Um,
Nothing else?
I mean, are you willing to put up 10 gold?
put in
Okay,
10 gold.
then I'll
That
match
he
you.
wants to do it.
That
I
you
can't
want
think of
to do it?
anything.
Yeah, he'll take
Else.
it.
I mean, there's the lady's sister, or what was her name?
Her
You have it
name
written down.
is Mirage.
Mirage. Mirage's sister.
No, Aurora's sister.
Aurora's sister,
Mirage.
Mirage.
Mirage's sister, Aurora's sister, Mirage.
Right.
Yes.
She is missing, and we're
She
trying
is
to find
missing.
her.
Yeah, that is like a thing I could do like a
Yeah, we need to.
whip round for.
Yeah, we need to keep.
Keep an eye out,
out,
maybe
and
sneak
do around.
around to see if you can find anything. Maybe poke through some doors.
Yeah,
at
could
the
I do
party.
some like investigation, kind of like just asking about, hey, have you heard of this person, or that,
You certainly can. Go ahead and give me.
Oh, we have those contacts with the other syndicate.
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, you know that her sister was also captured by the Ivory Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
You know that she thinks her sister would have been sold elsewhere because her sister wasn't magical or a child, which seems to be what this individual was paying for. So, going to the other syndicate doesn't necessarily do you much good because they're not tied
They're
in
not
with
in
that
it.
business. You can just certainly ask around the city. Most of what you'll find is just people saying, like a tabaxi by this name. They're like, oh, I saw a pair of tabaxis like a couple of weeks ago at this street corner. But there's not really like, she's already in the system.
Right.
So unless you can find a way to get to somebody connected to that system, it'll be hard to get
Yeah,
any,
and that's
We just gotta
any
get
recent intel on
and
it.
kind of with the whole slave trade investigation. We're kind of at a dead end for the moment.
Yeah, because
Unless one of us can get into the system.
Unless one of us gets kidnapped.
It's the
And
classic.
then has a tracker on them.
Right. My raven.
And then the Raven rolls badly and loses us, and then we're gone forever.
Congratulations, you've been trafficked.
But
You're gone.
poking
The
around
traffic
in
arc.
rooms, maybe finding some secrets wouldn't be so bad for us, especially blackmail, just saying.
You want blackmail on your fiance's family?
Not my... there's other people going to this party.
Fiancés at this point?
My fiance's not...
Boyfriend.
Boyfriend.
My
Did
boyfriend's
you
not
say
gonna-
boyfriends?
Boyfriends.
boyfriends.
They're boyfriends.
Her boyfriend's family. Like it's his house.
It's
It's
the
just-
Cragcrown. It's a Cragcrown, at least part of the Cragcrown estate, fortress, castle,
Right.
home.
There's not necessarily going to be much there.
Home is where
I'm not
Other-
talking
Home
about
is where the moat is.
that. I'm more so talking about keeping your eyes peeled for any particular happening?
Oh,
You would know that, as far as like what you guys are looking for, in direct relation to this, allegedly one of these clans is involved in this. It's hard to know which one, but there could be something that could help you.
So causing mischief,
Is it my copy?
sneaking around,
Of course.
gossiping is all permitted.
Fair enough.
All right.
I think we're
To the party.
To the party.
I suppose.
To the party. Fast forwarding a day, it is the time of the party. The party will be each of you will kind of be arriving at different times. There's very much going to be a procession of different people. The four of you that are a unit together, the Lala's group, are you hoping to be fashionably late to this party?
Yes.
Okay. Assumed as much. And so the one of you who's with Beta Bronstadt, also they intend to be fashionably late. And their plan for they have a setup of essentially a carriage drawn by kind of heavy bighorn sheep rams that is waiting outside of the Bronze Tap, and they've invited you to come well before the party started because they're just going to sit around and drink a bunch of bronze brew before they get there.
I got the best.
Damn, I should have gone
When
with
you
them.
arrive, though, you can see that they're all sitting at a long table. You can see Beta and Beta and Nismet sitting across from each other.
What are you doing?
and chugging down some bronze brews. You can see there's one waiting for you. You can also see a strange article of clothing laid out on the table next to them.
Which one of those is the head hole? Which one's the arm hole?
Well, it's more straps than holes. You can see what is in essence, it covers up all the parts it needs to and not much more of a leather apparatus as clothing sitting on the table in between them as they're
Are
drinking.
you gonna say you got the stick there, buddy?
I'm getting a bad of a stick alright from the looks of this.
Cheers! We're gonna have some fun tonight. If you're bashful, you can change in the back.
It's not like there's gonna be much hidden. Oh god. Alright, well. Listen, the things you do for business.
Here.
How's your charisma modifier?
No, it's going up.
I get a +3 to charisma from this.
At the house when we were all getting ready and stuff.
That's a
shall
hell
be
of a
drinking.
trade-off. Is you get a +3 charisma bonus. However,
you have to dress in a gimp suit.
suit.
This isn't a gimp suit. This is
This is way too revealing.
Sure.
This is like some raver party.
This is
leather
definitely-
strap clothing.
It's definitely
like,
a Mad
You
Max
just
costume
need
for
a
sure.
ball gag in your mouth and you're all set.
And you're good to
I was
go.
gonna say, is it like the that one sci-fi film with Sean Connery where he's wearing just that Do you know what I'm talking about? There was a reference to the character that he played in Dragon Heist, I think. What's the name of that film? I guarantee you've seen the picture of Sean Connery in it's essentially two bandoliers, a gun belt, and
I
red
don't
leather
remember
underwear.
that off the top of my head. As for Dermir, you are amongst the first guests that arrive. Because a bunch of people probably are going to arrive a little more fashionably late. You arrive exactly when the time was set to be.
That's what Trudorf would. That's
You, along with the rest of the Ruby Fist group, you can see that the servant that comes with them, they don't really introduce you, but you know that the other two are Tolvir and Liftrasa. And as you kind of walk
One of the suggestion options was just Sean Connery Speedo movie.
That's horrifying.
arriving outside of a massive...
You've never seen that picture before?
Can't see that. Seen it. It's my screensaver.
That's my wallpaper.
But
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
arriving outside of the Cragcrown fortress, you can see that it's like a huge section of cavern wall that has all this different building and infrastructure and stuff laid into it. And you kind of go to one aspect of this thing, and it seems to be a little bit more ornately carved, a little less utilitarian looking, and it's probably more of a festive style of location, kind of not necessarily the dining room, but the like party wing of the Cragcrown fortress.
I gotta ask, is Lala's boyfriend sending over like the fanciest carriage?
Oh, absolutely. There will be like it's not it's fancy as far as like similarly to what you saw waiting outside. There's essentially these two like heavy duty like bulky ram like goat creatures with these big curled horns that walk along the streets and pull these big like very finely crafted but not very fancy looking carts. And entering in, there is absolutely a single rose sitting on the seat waiting for you.
I wanted to.
Whoever goes in first.
Oh, Toxic Defense. I like that guy.
That was very sweet of him.
Your Kendall's like, you've got some competition, sister.
I'm gonna go up to the rams and pet them and be like, woo!
They happily get petted.
Yay.
There's like some kind of scattered people as you're arriving into this large hall, and entering into it, it is long, sprawling, beautiful hall that's very much set up more like, think stonework Viking longhouse when you go into it. Like, it's not elegant, elaborate, like it is utilitarian, it is warm and kind of close, even though it is huge, and it is much more long than it is wide in terms of like the layout of this room. And there's big warm hearth and fire through the middle of it, stonework chairs and tables lining it that are currently sparsely occupied. And you can see along like the far wall is a long table that sitting at is probably you can see an individual with a crown on his head, a woman next to him, on one side Warbin, and on the other side a very, very old looking dwarven woman that are on this kind of like head of the longhouse table. And as you walk in there, you can see there is a dwarf with like a long bit of hair coming from his chin, shaved cheeks, and a like very finely trimmed mustache. It's kind of not quite Fu Manchu, like it's short, like very finely trimmed, and then just like very long tied little braid thing coming out of his chin, shaved head, who like is holding a long scroll, and like as she enters in, kind of flips it to a spot and says, "Now introducing Turvia Rubyfist, leader of the Rubyfist clan, and president of operations for Ruby Fist Mining and Company." And,
hey, your company.
And you walk in, and then everyone kind of like looks up and acknowledges as you enter down into a very sparsely populated dining hall. As you arrived on time to a fancy party.
God, you guys are gonna be standing up so much when people start to walk in.
And Tulvir immediately goes to a table, sits, and asks the servant that came with you to go and grab drinks for everybody.
You're on bodyguard duty. In case of grudges. This is the dwarf party, so there be grudges.
The thing is, if anybody, it's perfect. If anybody just shows up,
tries to assassinate Tulvir, I'll just use
Command.
I could use command.
Stop it.
Grovel.
As you guys are kind of sitting there for a second, and you can see your the servant that came with you on their way back with a tray of drinks. You can hear that same kind of booming voice go out once again, and you hear, "Now introducing Filky Godvault, leader of the Godvault clan and chief of security and accounts for the Godvault Bank and Company." And you see entering in a very stern-looking dwarven woman with a shaved head that is covered in tattoos that look like cogs, gears, like mechanism and coinage, as like tattoos all along her shaved head and neck. And you can see another dwarf next to her with a big bushy brown beard and tied knots that seems to be wearing armor and has an axe on his hip, who seems to kind of be hovering just over her shoulder as she enters in.
Nice.
As well as a servant. Doesn't seem like she brought with her a retainer, just an escort and a
I have no
servant.
friends.
She has
Only employees.
she has no equals, I guess. No retainers. She doesn't have a right hand. And she enters in. Unless there's any conversation you have, shortly afterwards, another group will start entering in. And next up, you hear, now introducing Vacarus Skyguard, leader of the Skyguard clan, head of Skygate Internal Security, and head of Defense Against Underdark Incursion for the entirety of Calvorius. As entering, and he says nothing else as you see entering in by himself, a brutal and utilitarian-looking dwarf in fine ornate armor. He seems to have the loops for padlocks on his shoulder pauldrons, but no helmet on currently. As he steps in here, he has short black hair and a short black beard, all of which is
He's like
utilitarianly cut. There's no frill, there's nothing tied into it. It is cut to be a manageable length, and that is it. And he walks in, and everyone kind of turns and smiles towards him, and he just walks in very stern face and doesn't make eye contact.
And who will be your retainer? Me.
me.
And who will be your bodyguard? Me.
And who will be your servant? Me.
Okay, then.
Somebody wants to start shit, they're gonna need the man advantage.
It would be unfair for me to bring back up.
I don't proclaim it to the whole hall, but I loudly exclaim, "Now that is a true dwarf!"
There you go. Go ahead and just roll me a quick intimidation.
Intimidate. Oh shit.
Roll me an intimidation.
Okay.
You can't blow smoke up this guy's ass. What'd you say? 9. He's just kind of glances over at you and just keeps walking. He seems...
Yeah. He glances over at you, but he's
gives you
confused because he doesn't know who you're looking
He
at.
gives you a quick side eye that gives a slight energy of "Shut up, baby, I know it."
Shut up, baby, I know it.
We're the same person. It's just what it is.
Cragcrown's right here. This is God Vault and Skygate.
After a little bit more time entering in, and with another, now introducing Lilith Greystomp, leader of the Greystomp clan and High Hammer of the Anvil and company. And entering in, you see a dwarven woman wearing traditional fine clothing. She seems to have the full trio of people with her who are all also kind of an array of dwarven individuals, all of which are fairly well dressed, none of which seem to be in armor, one of which does have a hand axe on his hip. How late are you planning on being? A little bit, or a pretty good amount of fashionably late?
Well, I still have to make a good impression, so just a little bit.
Just a little. Entering into this same long hall, you see the same person here who kind of looks in oh, it's the dragon knight. Now introducing Dame Lala Porina Lorlipsy III, Knight of the Gentleman Knights of Grandelio Natrovix, and honored guest of Prince Warben Cragcrown and company. That's my job. Thank you.
And I will waltz in like I own the fucking place.
Alright, you strut into the place, and some people stand and nod, and some people don't, and you can see a slight rosiness flush to the cheeks of Warben Cragcrown at the table across. It seems like there's not really a place to sit with him at the moment, but you think if you go and find a table, he'll probably find you later on. He has to until everyone arrives, he kind of has to do his job as prince and sit up here.
I suppose I'll wander off and find his old drinks.
Yeah.
I'll be standing. I won't sit, but mainly because I got the great sword on my back, so it's awkward to sit. So I'm standing.
Okay.
Nothing too strong.
Something very strong.
What are they offering? If I go to the place where people are
So
picking up drinks.
you can see that servants are kind of coming and leaving from the side room that's attached, and entering into it, you can see that there's no food out currently, but you can see that there is another of these long dining tables that is just full of casks and barrels and bottles, and it seems like a plethora of alcohol options of all sorts of varying degrees.
I would like to use my natural alcoholic senses to find something pretty strong.
Give me a charisma history check.
Okay,
Or-
that
or
would be a
wisdom
flat
history.
roll. Wisdom I'll take.
I'll give you a wisdom history. Not that wisdom.
18.
18. You can find a nice version of any sort of liquor you're trying to find here. So it's got, you know, if you're looking for a nice red wine, you know a good one from amongst this to get. If you're looking for a robust, deep liqueur, there's something there.
Let's start with something cask-aged.
Okay.
Something,
Yeah.
a liquor. Something just like, essentially just like whiskey pours. For
And you can
everybody.
see there's like a tightly bound, like bronze ringed small cask, and it has what looks like a little human guy like reaching up and screaming with a big foot over the top of it. And you know that there's like you don't remember it's like called like giant stomp or something. It's like this is some sort of weird old like a barrel aged like whiskey essentially that's from the Craglands that's very well known and very very fine drink.
Well, that'll make a good first impression.
I'll have it with ice.
You're not part of my party.
I know.
And it is valid. It's just.
Are you gonna try to pass around him?
No. With my gimp suit, I don't think so.
I was gonna say.
Candle, go do.
Fire makes you the lowest rating. He's not here yet, is he?
No, the bronze taps are not going to be one of the first.
I'll do four pours of that.
Okay. You start walking out with it as you hear. Now introducing Kanishka Stonebones, co-leader of the Stonebones clan and chief officer of Stone Quality Assurance for the Stonebones Quarry and Company.
This is
It's like insurance for some
this is a stone giant, right?
So no, you'd see that a dwarven woman
Okay.
walks in. You would know she has tightly bound red braids and wears fine artisan's clothes. You know that there are two leaders of the Stonebones clan. There is Holm the Visionary, who is the stone giant leader of the clan, and there's Kanishka Stonebones, who is the dwarven co-leader of the clan.
Okay.
She does more of the business, and he does more of the actual creativity and
Oh
creation.
yeah, that's a fact. I got mixed up.
Nah.
Bernie made
I
it.
keep poking
Yeah,
the
yeah,
like
part of the really
power
explain
cord
it.
under here. I keep thinking of
Words,
Will's
and I was
foot,
just
and I'm like,
I'm sorry.
Pull this up and do it. And have not.
also, give your feedback on you said that you fucking animal.
Under my chair.
I know. Once again, it's not your foot. I just keep thinking.
Now introducing 8th Stammeraster of the High Elven Court, Stammeraster. And you see walking in a woman who looks to be of High Elven origins. She has kind of golden skin and I believe kind of like stark, like bleach white hair. But you can also see that she has a set of winding white horns that go along the sides of her head. And she wears like a very fine, elegant gown, and on one side a long glove that goes up to like mid-arm.
That's her slapping hand.
We have somebody in our party who keeps one arm covered.
She
For a very
does not have
specific
any accompaniment with her.
and potentially worrying reason
Hey,
if somebody
hey.
showed up.
Hey.
I'm just saying that there's a chance that this lady also.
Made a deal with the devil.
But yeah,
Hey,
she does not have any accompaniment. She arrives by herself.
That is also a true dog.
Zaraxis will take notice of of that elf as she walks in and
At a
notice.
glance, you can tell that she is of High Elven origin, but is a tiefling.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
She is a tiefling that is born probably of a High Elven family.
If is it the same arm covered that?
Because mine's the
Zaraxis
left
keeps
arm.
covered?
No, mine's the right arm.
Yours is the whatever one you would have shook.
It was the
which is
right arm, so.
Her left arm seems to be covered, not her right.
So she's left hand dominant.
Potentially.
Potentially.
Different hole.
Just go up and try to shake her hand and see if she feels it. Easy.
Now introducing Valeria Runeheart, leader of the Runeheart clan, High Enchantress, and chief ritualist of the Atrium and Company. And entering in, you see a dwarven woman with pale white hair, cut very short, wearing fine robes. You can see that alongside her is someone that one of you would recognize, Zaraxis, as Milo Runeheart. And you can see also alongside of her what looks like a black-scaled dragonborn, who has a black metal claymore on his back and wears kind of medium-looking armor. It looks like it's fairly heavy, but it's very fine and ornate.
Don't you get started. You were invited here by another guy.
Just make them jealous.
Sorry, it's the bar in me.
Whiskey.
You start with a whiskey drink. I don't remember what comes after whiskey drink.
Take whiskey drink. Take
Vodka
vodka
drink.
drink.
There you go.
The lager drink, and then the cider drink.
Cider.
Now introducing Nora Blacklatch, leader of the Blacklatch clan and head foreman of Artifice for Blacklatch Industries. And you see walking in an incredibly tiny dwarf, even by dwarven standards, a dwarven woman who is very thin, very short, and has short brown hair. You can see she is wearing practical but nice clothing, and it seems like she's tried to doll herself up a little bit, but clearly has a smudge of grease underneath one of her eyes that she missed.
Respectable.
She's
Come to
practically
you,
no.
drink. You know that she is a clan leader of a lesser clan, but a clan nevertheless.
I was wondering if Black would be here. I can tell you a clan that's not going to be here. Probably not deserved, but they won't be here.
Now introducing Gadul Torchthroat, the burning maw of the mountain, leader of the Torchthroat clan and lead jeweler and gem cutter of Torchthroat Jewelry and Company.
I'm just saying, whenever he starts going,
That's the
and
best way I
now
got my
it must-
earrings,
it
right?
is.
Yeah.
And you
must
see
be-
entering in a dwarven man with exceptionally fine clothing and wearing only a few pieces of very, very high quality jewelry. You see that he has bright red hair that is spiky going back and completely black eyes.
Yeah, they look like Sonic the Hedgehog, but
You can see that most of the jewelry you see of his is worn in a well-trimmed red beard that's kind of laced into.
right.
And he has with him a small accompaniment of people who look very similar.
Why are you collecting D8s over there? Planning for trouble?
No, I'm just stacking dice.
Because he's anxious about the.
Yeah, because
gimp suit
anytime
he's wearing.
Erickson starts the announcement, he's like, "Oh God, are they gonna see me in the gimp suit?"
Let's see.
Arriving in your cart, music bumping.
Listen, I rolled a charisma fear check to see if I was.
You're wearing what you're wearing.
He was not. I rolled like a 19 on it. I was like, all right,
As you all walk in, now introducing Beta Bronze Tap, leader of the Bronze Tap clan and head of entertainment and chief brew tester of the Bronze Tap and Company.
Is that good?
Hey, boss, you want a dramatic entrance?
Absolutely.
Okay, as we step in, I'm going to silent image like a big almost like a pyrotechnics.
Okay.
Yeah, but there's no noise to it. It's just a big like.
And you see, like, it kind of stands, like, you see somebody like classic theatrics, you know, as she comes strutting in with a bit of a wobble as you've been drinking. And for those of you paying attention, there is this exceptionally old dwarven woman who, like, even as like is going off, is just kind of sitting, like, staring blankly at a long wall, wrinkled, deep set in wrinkles in her face.
Is this, this isn't the like Queen Mother, is it? This is like.
This seems like the Queen Mother.
Oh, okay. So it is that old.
That is that old lady.
Okay.
She is at the head table. She is on the right side of the
Right.
king, apart from his wife right now.
Right.
And you can see she kind of like glances up and just for a second catches eye of of Axel in his current accoutrement and just kind of.
Good boy.
I'm gonna lean over to Thagar. What in God's name is he wearing?
I don't think the gods know anything.
I think he looks great.
You made a literal deal with the devil. Don't come over here and start knocking me for what I have to do.
I can pull it off better.
Now introducing Benji Flintbeard, leader of the Flintbeard clan and director of the Flintbeard Forge Yard and Company. And you can see entering in a dwarf, short blonde hair, and a shaved face, wearing an ornate breastplate, as well as like kind of ruffly blue clothing along the side of it. On one side of him, you see what looks like an elf or a half elf woman. On the other side, you see what looks like a fire genasi who has a longsword on his hip. One that you, Candle, would recognize as one Valorian Hawks, a well-known mercenary around here who is hired for Underdark expeditions pretty regularly.
Now that both of the Forge clans are here, I am actually worried that there's going to be fights.
Oh, you're right. We definitely need to back up our allies, the Flintbeards.
Well, they've just arrived.
Yeah.
Because the
So if-
Forge clans really hate each other.
If they start squabbling, we know whose side we're on.
Now introducing Miss Falia Dwarfkin, instructor of surface history at the Emerald Cavern Academy, and honored guest of Queen Shanta Cragcrown for her heroic efforts during the sinkhole incident at her academy. And you see walking in a dark-skinned human woman with elaborately decorated kind of dread hair that is wrapped into a head wrap, who's wearing as nice of clothes as a teacher's salary could probably buy. Walking in.
Man, the education system's underfunded in a fantasy world as well.
Damn, that sucks. Teachers really have it bad.
At least in this city it is.
That's fair.
Now introducing Lord Lysander Sylvathian, Magistrate of the High Elven Court Sylvathian and Company. And you see entering in what looks like another High Elven individual. One with long blonde hair and handsome features who wears fine blue noble regalia. You can see that he has accompanying him what looks like a tan-skinned half. You can't tell if he is High Elven or Wood Elven. He kind of accentuates features of both. That you can see on one side of him, who's got short salt and pepper hair and beard, and seems to be wearing very practical, like fine clothing that seems very movable and flexible. And for the sake of this, we're going to run through the last couple of people as they come through here, because it's kind of like people have all started arriving and are coming in one at a time at this point. The next person that comes in, you hear, now introducing Her Majesty Queen Bara Cheraboga of Darkcap and Company. And entering in, you see a woman with long curly blonde hair, a crown with red gems lining it, a red fur-lined gown, and you can see on one side of her a person that most of you recognize as Sir Munta the Valiant, a goblin knight with one of his short swords on his hip. On the other side, one of you recognizes a Vlad Cheraboga, a half-orc individual who is, believe you know, is the half-brother of the queen.
Aren't we buddies or something?
That you are. That you are.
Oh, I better go talk to them.
Blood enemies.
We're actually blood enemies.
Turns character sheet over. Murder at first opportunity.
I must go
I'm
talk
the one
with
starting
him.
to fight at this point.
Now
We are
introducing
actually buddies.
Master Smoke, the Snoring Mountain, master of the Owl Bear Monastery. And doddering in, you see a very old-looking panther tabaxi. Panther-furred tabaxi kind of walking in fine monk's robes. Now introducing
He's a monkey.
Ivan
Also, it's a secret fighting
Turgrel, emissary of Brugo and Company. And you see entering in what looks like a human in traditional kind of Cragland fine clothing. And you can see alongside of him somebody one of you again recognizes, and that would be you, Candle. You recognize Rashid Dursalai, a Gloomstalker Ranger, alongside of him. One that you know was somebody who did a lot of expeditions with a missing friend of yours in the past. One that has a reputation as being a fairly good person, if a bit of a miscreant. And a bit of a trouble stirrer. You know that him and your friend have been very good friends for a great many years, but that he tended to get your friend in trouble quite a bit.
Rashid?
Rashid Dursalai.
Is that R-A-S-H?
ID. Yep.
It's an NBA player.
Oh, okay.
Now introducing His Holiness, Father Holge of the Family of Stone, chosen of Moradin and Company. And entering in, you see a old dwarven man with a shaved head and a long braided beard, and alongside of him, a dwarven woman in a very, essentially the dwarven equivalent of nun robes. Both of which have a kind of spaced out look to their eyes.
I stand up and say, I thought this was an honorable event.
It looks like Sklew is starting the fighting early.
Ruby Fist kind of like slowly turns and looks at you. And Father Holge kind of like looks around in your direction but doesn't seem to be able to really focus on you very well. And just like, and just starts walking in. And there's kind of like a bit of like an air taken out of the room, but he doesn't seem to take much note. Everyone's just kind of like, go back to their business.
The beef starting early.
Yep.
Yeah. The conflict starts.
The second everyone is getting up, I'm going and fucking hitting you on the back of the head.
You're gonna make us just get in a fight with a bunch of nuns.
Hey, I'm not in your party.
They're nuns, you asshole!
And then this same person will say, with the entire guest list here, we will begin tonight's festivities. Enjoy your drink, the food will be arriving shortly. And for tonight's entertainment, the Opera Hammers. And walking out, you see a group of dwarves in fairly fine, if minstrelish clothing, all of which have war hammers and drums strapped to their chests, who begin playing. One walks out and says, I am Baka Bronze Tap, and we are the Opera Hammers. We will be tonight's entertainment. If you enjoy what you hear, please consider visiting the Sapphire Resonance Opera House. Enjoy your evening. And then steps back and they start goom, 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 goom.
Hell yeah.
There's this like backdrop of heavy drums and dwarven low opera singing kind of refusing the
Now I want to fight this.
and it seems like the entirety of the guest list has arrived.
Can you remind me, what was the name of that tiefling high elf? I didn't.
The tiefling high elf was 8th Stammeraster. Aithe, Stammeraster. Best of luck. I don't feel like saying all those letters.
It's a lot of letters.
Alright.
It's hardly Stammer.
I stand new.
Are people getting up and mingling?
It seems like quite a bit. It depends on the people. Some people like you get in there. Beta's like, go get a drink. You're not servant to the servant. You're her.
I said I was gonna.
You're her escort. You're here for protection. You're her escort. And the servant that comes with you, she's like, go get us some drinks. I'm going to mingle. And then she is up and wandering into the crowd to talk to people. You notice, like, for instance, people along the lines of Vacarus Skyguard broods over an ale and says nothing to nobody at the start. But different levels
He's
of
just here so
people
we
are
don't get
talking.
fined.
You notice some dirty looks between the Flintbeards and Grey Stomps, certainly. Mostly, the Flintbeards seem to be like bustling and happy, and the Grey Stomps seem to be a bit more like brooding and staring at them like they let the trash in kind of thing. But neither of which seem to be very friendly with each other. No outright aggression, but unfriendly. Yeah, there's a variety of people starting to move about and mingle, and the drinks are flowing, the music is playing.
I'm gonna immediately go talk to Vlad.
Okay. You walk up to Queen Bara Cheraboga's table, and you see they've a servant arriving back. You've probably met her. You don't have the same like very loosely.
You're not drinking buddies.
The big thing is like you have met and talked with Vlad multiple times because he's the person who travels around and does like diplomatic missions to other places for his half sister. So he's gone to your home and spent time there before in the past.
Well, like, I think we were like childhood friends.
And yeah, I think growing up you guys knew each other as well.
Yeah.
And he's gonna kind of like, huh? They'll let anybody in here, huh?
I didn't expect to see you either.
I didn't hear you announced. Has your family been
And company.
welcomed into Skygate?
I'm here as a retainer today.
Oh, who for?
The Dragonborn knight over there.
Knight. Interesting. Very interesting. Sit. Drink. I'd like to catch
I'm
up.
just gonna abandon my party and sit with them.
He goes, and like
You're an adult.
he's mostly just wanting to talk with you and catch up on like the state of your town as well as what brought you here and what you're doing.
Yeah, I just want to know like what's going on with him.
He says that for the time being, things are good. They're peaceful. He's just here to have a good time. There's not a whole lot of diplomatic missions needing to be done right now. So he's mostly just been at his sister's side to try and help run things on the day-to-day in Dark.
Cool. We'll probably hang out for a while.
Yeah, hang out and drink.
That's fine.
Anyone else have any conversations or want to get started?
I would walk away, but I don't know if it would be okay
can
for
walk
the
away.
escort to leave the.
I can handle myself. Go have fun.
She can breathe fire.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll walk
Caleb,
up.
do whatever you want to do.
I'll walk up to
Probably would.
like to start. I'll walk up to like Milo Runeheart.
Okay.
Just
You walk up to the Runeheart table, and walking up to it, you can see the dwarven woman with the kind of short, stark white hair will kind of like look up at you, and she seems to be immediately sizing you up. It's not like an unfriendly sizing you up. It's like I don't know you. You're approaching. Okay, let's see what this is about. You see standing behind her this black-scaled dragonborn immediately eyes you up, and it is a step lightly eyeing you up. He seems to be immediately in like bodyguard mode watching you.
I do like a quick
Roll me a insight.
Insight?
Mm-hmm.
16.
16. It's almost, with her, it's like a eyeing you up like, okay, interesting. His almost seems to have like a bit of like recognition when he sees you.
Oh.
Not just like a, I'm bodyguarding, like a, this one.
Yeah.
I
keep my hands behind my back the entire time, and then like I'll kind of nod to like do like a bow to them.
She'll kind of duck ahead, and Milo will turn about, seeing her kind of duck to bow to someone, and be like, "Oh yes, my lady, this is Xeraxis. He is an old friend. Helped me out in a pinch in the past."
Yeah. Just
Xeraxis. Pleasure to meet you.
nice to meet you. I'll slowly reach a hand out, like to show like I'm not.
And as the hand reaches out, like she shakes yours, and as your hand reaches out, like it's not like a flinch. He just eyes it the entire time. Like he eyes it as it goes, seeing that it's not like armed or anything, like immediately goes back to you and is just like mean mugging you.
Yeah. You don't watch the hand that's going for the handshake. You watch the other shoulder, the other arm.
Yeah.
And she shakes your hands, and as she shakes your hand, looks down at it, and then like.
Oh, is my my bandages showing?
With your current outfit, that part of your arm is covered, but she looks as if she's looking directly at where it is when she shakes it, and gives you kind of a cocked eyebrow look, and lets go of the hand.
Do I notice like that cocked eyebrow look like when I start to take my hand away? Like.
Yeah, I think with your previous insights, you do notice that. Also, being here closer, something else you notice about the Dragonborn here is that one of his eyes looks kind of fucky.
Like how fucky are we talking here?
Like, it looks like he's got only one real eye and the other's a false one.
Okay.
He's a Terminator.
I'll just like I'll kind of like turn to Milo and just be like, I'll just kind of like, I saw you were here and figured I'd come and say hello. It's been a while since we last had a chance to chat.
Yes, and you're welcome to have a drink. Are you still? I know you previously were interested in some ritual supplies. The offer still stands from what previously we discussed.
I am, but circumstances have changed a little bit too, so that's been put on hold to an extent.
Fair enough.
Like I'm trying to like be like I want them, but I kind of can't get them right now because of reasons.
Mm-hmm. He seems to be like. This seems like when you're in a magical ritual business, anonymity and nondescript reasoning is part of the. He sold ritual supplies to a cult.
Yeah.
He seems to be like, oh, fair enough, and not question you. Yeah. If you'd like to sit and drink with them a bit.
Yeah, I'll sit and have like a couple of drinks before moving on.
At some point when I'm sitting with Vlad, I'm going to speak in his mind, which I think he probably knows I can do, and explain to him some of the more like secret things that have happened with my family, like my suspected whereabouts of my mother and what's going on with the uncle and stuff, and like ask him if he knows anything about where my uncle might be or if he's heard anything.
He will say that he hasn't heard anything of that. If he did, you'd be the first. Your family would be the first to know, but he was also not aware of those circumstances fully. And he will reply to you in your mind, essentially saying, "He can do that, right?"
No, I can't hear replies, but he could probably.
Well, he'll kind of have a more hushed aside conversation with you and say that the Knights of the Pale, that the Surmunta is one of. He says that they closely monitor a lot of the coming and going from Skyguard and Darkcap, and he will certainly speak with them and see what they know of. Anything like that could be related, and have them put their feelers out.
Put those feelers away, sir. Which is probably what someone's shouting at me about now.
Yeah.
Well, you're shouting at somebody, right?
Yeah. That's a good point. I'd like to make an insight for the crowd. Who's eyeballing me and who's like disgusted?
Okay.
I'm here to make things interesting. That was made abundantly clear.
Clearly.
Only a 5 on insight.
The only person you can tell has their eye on you pretty regularly is an incredibly old dwarven woman at the head table of this long.
We'll see if I have the stones for that once I have one more drinks.
I'm gonna point him out to Mel and be like, I know that guy.
He kind of like looks at what
That's
he's
my
looking at,
boss.
looks back, and he's like,
You
why?
He's my boss.
This business venture you're on is a very interesting one indeed. I'd like to get to know all of them.
I would like to get Lala another whiskey because I think that would probably impress her boyfriend the most out of the drinks here currently offered. Just to make sure that's what she has in hand when she goes to talk to him, and then I want to go talk to Rashid probably.
Okay. And as he kind of drops the drink off, you see walking over holding 2 more drinks. Well, you see first standing up from his chair, walking around, and he seems to like kiss his mother's hand and say something to her, and then walk over, get 2 drinks, and he walks to sit with you and start drinking and talking with you. Warbin will come and sit with you.
Good old Warbin.
Good old
Pat him on the back or something.
He'll give you a big smile with slightly rosy cheeks as he approaches. He is not wearing the horned helm tonight either. It is sitting at his table.
Oh.
Just in case he needs to pick it up and brain somebody with it later.
He's always armed when he's wearing the horned helm. You said you're going to approach Rashid.
I think so.
Walking up to that table, you can see... do you want to give me an insight as well?
17?
17. You've known him for a while. He's got mischief on his face. As he's leaning over and having a conversation with this Timplat Mikolaj, the individual who was introduced as an emissary of Brugo. That this guy, he's apparently here as like either a right-hand man or a guard too. And they seem to be kind of like, he seems to be kind of like talking and like eyeing around the crowd as he's talking to him. And he's like, candle.
He's like, how does this fit into my
I have a use for it.
Well, what brings you to a fancy dinner? I'm surprised they let me in, but you. Suppose you dress better.
Usually.
It's the Fez.
Servant, technically, for the Dragonborn, hitting it up with Warbin over there.
Friend of the prince. It's pretty high society for a Gloomstalker.
The way you said that makes me think you're up to something.
The way I said what?
Friend of the prince.
Everything.
It's mostly the way you talk, really.
I have one of those manners of speaking. Everyone thinks I'm up to something. It's nothing, I assure you. But you can drink?
Just because you're usually up to something. I'll absolutely take a drink.
Any news?
I was going to ask you the same thing.
From what I hear, dinner parties are better than going into the Underdark even more than usual recently. Weird stuff's happening down there.
It's the rocks.
Lots of weird things happening down there.
Heard
From what I hear.
I've heard strange creatures. Strange even for the Underdark being seen recently.
I've heard similar rumors. Got some reason to believe some of them. And talking with Vikoroy, I'm pretty sure I know where Gretch went missing.
That is interesting to hear.
These monsters, you might say, are out of this world.
Well, if my dreams, or more accurately nightmares, or anything to go on, I'd say there's a chance he's still out there somewhere. If my logical brains to get involved, I'd say don't go chasing where somebody better at my job than me went missing.
Still just sort of feel like I need to know.
If you get closure, and it doesn't rip your head off, I'd like to know too.
I'll let you know what I found. And, well, whatever it is you're scheming. I'm happy to help unless it, I suppose, crosses a certain line, in which case I don't know anything.
I never met you. I don't know.
He kind of looks over at Mikolaj and like looks back at you and says, "What lines are you talking about here? I need a pretty clear line drawn in the sand."
Well, I'm certainly not looking to assassinate anybody, and I'd rather not spend a night in prison.
Those are your lines?
That's the lie.
That's a pretty forgiving line.
Yeah.
But I also know that this guy's supposed to be like
On the up and
a
up.
good guy for the most part.
You
He just
think-
gets himself in trouble.
He gets himself in trouble. Says, well,
So I don't think he's gonna ask me to just like murder somebody.
yeah. Well, we're certainly not looking to cause any trouble, and no one wants to spend any night in prison. Isn't that right? Go. No, you already rolled the previous one. He says, you hear him say, oh wait.
Nicholas?
No, yeah. Well, you hear him like as he kind of looks back over. You see the guy who's looking back at him, like kind of give him like a stern look. And I'm not gonna make you roll it. You remember that when were you here yet? You were. When they said now introducing, and these guys walked in, they said now introducing Ivan Turgrel, emissary of Bruco. As he kind of looks back, he's like, yeah, my friend Ivan here, and we're into no shady business, no assassinations, nothing like that. We're not the shady sorts. We're
An old disguised self.
you know, if you wanted to cause a bit of a distraction later in the evening, I certainly think there could be some coin in it for you.
Sneaking thieves into the damn royal palace. I assume you've got a good reason for whatever it is you're trying to do.
Which is absolutely nothing. And if you don't want to get involved in nothing,
I'll keep my eye out for an opportunity, but I'm not promising anything.
I'm certainly very distracted.
And I might know some people. Remarkably distracting.
fair enough.
What if you just stage a fake fight? There's no way they'll be able to ignore the bird and the guy dressed like you having a fight.
When you walk away, you can see like the conversation is kind of like slide, becomes a bit more stern as this guy next to him is like, "What the fuck are you doing?
Make Lala do a marriage proposal.
Fucking Roman Stolucci.
Using my real name, you idiot!" And you kind of get that.
So what
that
was the
sense of-
real name that he said?
The real name he said was Mikolaj.
Okay.
The name he was announced in as was Ivan Turgrel, emissary of Bruco.
Why is Mikolaj faintly familiar to me?
You know what it is?
No. I just
Suspicious noises. Conniving. I was like,
Yeah.
It's just fair to go.
things that make you go,
Can I roll a knowledge or something? Because we've heard that name this campaign, right?
I don't think you have.
Okay.
I think you might recognize this, but I don't know if Candle is recognizing this right now.
Yeah, I was just like, why is that so familiar?
It's when you stole Erickson's notes and was reading this.
I mean, he's the most likely person to have access to him because he uses the.
Well, it's probably just
tablet for
that
different
he's
things we're working on.
reviewed the footage like over and over
Uh-huh.
again. Like he's like double checked through all the
Yes,
footage.
no, Mikolaj has not
Yeah.
been incorporated in this campaign before now.
Dang, that.
It should be familiar to you, though. It should be familiar to most of us. But we'll talk about that later.
For different reasons.
Any other conversations people are trying to have with anyone?
I think after a couple drinks with the Rune Hearts, I will take my leave and kind of like nod to them and see if I can find the Tiefling High Elf.
Okay. So yeah, you can absolutely find. You see her. She has like walked over to the other high elf who entered in there, and you can see like you are walking towards her as she has walked up and started a conversation with them, and you swear, like from the outside looking, like she's sitting there and she seems to be kind of like very politely having a conversation with this half-elven man who is, of all accounts, like seems like a very traditional fancy man, but does not stand up and does not shake her hand. There seems to be some like we're being nice to each other on the front, but both of us fucking hate each other as we're talking. And you can see the kind of the guard / retainer, whatever it is, the other elf that's sitting next to him, like is eyeing her very untrusting, and you swear for a second almost bares his teeth slightly when looking at her. And she'll kind of give a bow and like is turning to walk away and turns towards you as she walks away from them.
Howdy.
Hi, bitch.
Hi.
I would like to be constantly bringing Durmir drinks.
Okay.
Because I think I might have a way to cause a distraction while staying out of it.
Just keep him flush with drinks. Yeah, but she's walking towards you as you.
I'll walk up and make the comment. Well, that conversation looked mildly unpleasant.
She kind of just chuckles to herself and smirks, and she says, the Sylvathian house is very high on itself. But we're able to be amenable. They think lesser of a house that they should respect more.
It's usually how it is for big egos with what's the word? How do I want to phrase it? Like high egos and small animals.
Certainly.
Low charisma scores.
Yeah, low charisma scores. Super low charisma
Super
scores.
low charisma score. Says, I don't believe I heard you announced. You're a escort retainer?
I am an escort for the Dragonborn there with the prince.
Everyone's just pointing me out.
Yeah, you're already in.
That's why you love Dragonborn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
Say, interesting. You lot seem a bit too interesting to be guests at a party like this. Are you adventurers?
Well, I think
It's the
that,
it's the fez.
yeah, it's the best.
It's the fez that gave it away, wasn't it?
Yes, we are. We're also working through our own little company ourselves, trying to grow it into an adventuring company.
Trade or adventuring?
Trade, and then soon to be adventuring, hopefully.
Have your servant fetch me some wine. I'd like to sit and talk with you a little bit.
It's the
I'll,
best.
I'll like I'll hail Candle, like, Candle, hey, some wine please.
It's very elaborate.
Yes. Needlessly extravagant bow, flip him off when he turns it back.
Do you have enough fingers for that?
That's a good question.
It's the one feather go up.
I would like to pick out probably something elven, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know.
You
I
do
don't know
see
what
that
this
there
like.
is a bottle of moonlight.
There's just one.
The good stuff.
There's just one.
It doesn't seem like it's been cracked yet. You take the bottle with you. Okay. Bottle and some glasses, easy enough to snag. Walk it to the table.
Yeah.
And arriving
Perks
at
of
the table,
that.
you and Warbin are sitting there.
Yeah.
And 8th Stammeraster walks up and is like, Prince Cragcrown. And extends the left hand with the gloved hand who reaches out. And he kind of tries his best to daintily shake it, but he's got these big dumb barbarian hands and he's trying to shake it with.
My
And
bare
he's-
hands.
I am going to cause so many
And
distractions
he's
by
like,
accident. all at the
Madam
same time.
Stammeraster, please call me Warbin. Take a seat. Take a seat. This is Dame Lala Porina. This is Dame Lala.
He's doing. He did very.
He did very well.
And you see, he's like, knows your name, but he's like, I don't need to be so formal. This is
No,
Dame
no, no.
Lala.
Yeah.
But he does use your title, trying to be respectful. And she says,
Warbin.
"So I understand, and sorry to talk business at a fun affair, my Warbin. I understand you all are the adventuring sort. Looking to do expeditions in the future?
Yes,
You're
very
not
much
very
so.
good.
I'm not here at all.
He's not there at the table, so like,
I'm not at the table either.
so
So just
all you.
it's just me. It's just me, you, and no, Candle's probably roaming around somewhere.
You're coming back some wine.
I'm coming back with some more.
So it's just me and you, and then solid.
yes, we are.
Anyone who is successful at those, I like to make acquaintance with. I operate out of the city. I have a small property here that I maintain in my family's name, in the Stammerasta name. I primarily am here, though, to collect things of importance.
Is that candle maker?
That's me being on call, but not getting called in. We're okay. Collect things of import, specifically any unique or interesting texts. Any that you will find on these expeditions, I assure you will be paid very handsomely for. Should you bring them to my estate, and I'd be happy to give you the location of that.
I think we can absolutely do that.
What's the name of that like smut book that your character's been collecting every copy of you can find in Baldur's Gate?
Oh god, I don't remember.
It's like loving a pleasurable deal.
A pleasurable deal.
Yeah.
The lustier Argonian maid. Jinx.
All 4 volumes.
But yeah, she says,
Yeah. I think we can.
Moonbow, as you come walking up. Adventurers with taste, you rarely find that.
When she mentions like the text,
you didn't get that from me.
Is
His
there-
uniform itches a little bit.
yeah, I
What
was
with
like,
the prince?
And she says she has a location.
Mm-hmm. She says she has a location for where she is in the city.
Oh, for where
so
she
like
is.
if you find
Find
any
it.
unique texts and bring them to sell them to her is essentially what
Okay.
she's saying.
I think we can absolutely arrange that.
Is at this point I try to slyly like kind of grab at my
You
arm
can
here.
itch at your forearm.
Yeah.
She doesn't seem to take note of it.
I wonder if she made the same deal. So if one of you actually gets a hold of the book, you screw the other person out of their deal. That could be fascinating.
But she doesn't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about your deal.
You guys just know I woke up. That's all you know. You don't know. You don't know anything.
She makes pleasantries, drinks a glass of the moonbow, and then takes her leave. And after she leaves, you see Warbin kind of like, she had a strong grip for such a dainty lady.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
She's actually a 20th level tiefling.
Yeah.
Well, strong person is good to know.
Could be a good connection. I know very little about elven politics. I just know that her family has some sway in them.
Oh, that is also a great thing to know.
Her and the Sylvathians over there. She says, pointing at the other two. And
Warby.
as he kind of points and you glance over, you see there is that like elven man who is like in the process of standing up and turning to walk away from the table, and you see the person that's sitting next to him like watching him go and kind of scratch the side of his head and then like speak into his wrist, and you see like cufflink on his shirt faintly glow as he does it, and then rest his arm back down as this elven man stands up and starts walking towards a table occupied by but a single person, and that one person being Vacarus Skygate.
Oh.
I'd like to mingle and gossip with the servants. Find out what's
Okay.
going on in the city.
All right.
What is...
I'll still constantly bringing him alcohol.
I'll
My question is, what is
Who?
Tulvir doing? Like, she's just hanging out at the table, or is she mingling?
She seems to be sitting, and people are coming and mingling with her on occasion, and she is short but cordial, as they do.
I will stay there
Okay?
and watch what
Father Holds is doing?
Father Hold is doing.
Father Hold seems to be moving about and making talk, with lots of people. You see he spends quite a while speaking with the black-furred tabaxi that you know is like a leader of some sort of monastery or temple. He seems to be going over and, who knows, spouting religious nonsense to each other back and forth.
2 old codgers.
Everybody that he talks to, if Tulvir's okay with me leaving, I'll ask her, because that's what true, but I do have a duty, of course.
So, shrug and say, sure, don't make me look bad.
Oh no.
And she says that and her eyes stay on you after she says that.
Oh,
you are here as my retainer, don't make me look, or as my escort, don't make me look bad.
yeah.
Out of town.
Yeah.
He's gonna get kicked out.
I am going to everybody that Father Holmes talks to, like in the middle, interrupt every single conversation and say, literally just something along the lines of, "Don't listen to this fool's buttereds. He's not a true dwarf."
And you kind of say that as you walk up, and then this kind of old panty tabaxer looks up and says, "Oh, what was that?"
But I'll just do that. Well, if that happens in that conversation, I'll just be like, never mind.
Do I
But
know?
anybody else that he talks to, I'm
Do
doing
any
that
of
all
us
night.
notice him just following the guy around?
You might, yeah, sure. I think at some point you see him at least interrupting conversations. And Father Holds kind of looks at you and just oh, son.
I'm going.
You
He's
have
not mad,
great
he's
potential.
just disappointed.
The family would happily welcome you back if you were to just calm down your extreme beliefs
You
and take
know
part in our
nothing.
rituals.
You know nothing of Moradin.
I am Moradin's chosen. I speak for Moradin, so that his will might be done in this great hold under the mountain.
I'm gonna.
The only person that's chosen you is an imaginary mushroom goblin.
It's at this point.
You've had too much drink, my friend. Please, take a seat.
I am a true dwarf. I can drink as much as I.
It's at
How
the-
loud is this conversation?
It's increasing in volume as it continues.
It's at
Would
this.
this count as a distraction?
I'd say it's fairly. People are starting to take note of it.
It's at this point, like, I'll have walked away from.
Good job.
I walked away from 8th Stammer Sign and start making and be like, pardon me, and then I'll make my way towards him to like kind of calm him down, and like I'll put a hand on his shoulder like, Durmian, calm down. I don't relent.
I do not relent.
I'll start pulling him away like, come on.
As you guys kind of start this, another raised voice conversation starts, and as everyone's attention like looks and then is pulled another direction, as you see the direction turns towards the table with Vacarus Skyguard, and you see this elven man. And it's like, because of how like heated things are getting over here, you don't hear the beginning of it, but you hear kind of like loud conversation and people kind of turn look over, and it looks like Lysander Sylvathian, this fancy elven man, seems to be kind of giving it to Vacarus Skyguard, and seems to be like, as he kind of notices, he kind of like hushes up but continues to like, his fingers point down at the table, and he seems to be speaking very intentionally.
Before he quiets down, what does the conversation seem to be about? Can
You,
we catch anything?
because you're kind of floating around and listening, you will hear the tail end of him essentially, like, the thing that he kind of gets loud about, you hear him say, "This is my wife we're speaking about here." As,
Fuck his
and then
wife.
as people kind of start looking, he kind of like gets more quiet and starts talking in a way that's inaudible.
What's the range of
I want to know if he's. I want to know if this is an affair issue or if his wife is missing, and the Skyguard's not really doing anything about it. I would. This wants to eavesdrop. Not sure how.
It's shortly after this quiet thing that he kind of turns, shaking his head, and he says, "The great protectors of the South," as he kind of turns and walks away. So, and then just starts heading back towards his table.
I would kind of like to head him off, I guess,
Okay.
a little bit.
You kind of like move to head him off, and it's as if three people meet at once. You see this person who was like sitting there and kind of speaking thing, like immediately is like up, noticing you, and is like intercepts as you guys meet there. It's not in a like, it's like in a like,
Get down, Mr. President.
you walk up and like you're like turning, and he kind of extends a hand to shake yours right as you walk up to him, be like, Turian Greycow. And
Nice to
shakes
meet you.
hand.
Nice to meet you, kind of brushing him off. It's like, I apologize, sir. I don't want to get in the middle of something that's not my business. And I apologize for overhearing anything of what seems to be a very personal conversation. But I work with an adventuring company here in the city that has been handling some, I suppose, what the Skyguard would consider extracurricular activities recently, especially in regards to hunting down people who have gone missing. And if that sounds like something that could be useful to you, I'd be happy to offer our services.
And you see, when you say like people have gone missing, he like immediately perks up, and this guy who introduced himself as Turian Greycow kind of steps forward a little bit and is like, "Perhaps we should have a conversation at our table."
Of course.
My lord.
Am I close enough to hear any of that?
It's quiet conversation, so not at your table. You can see them have a conversation, and you see this.
I mean,
them move towards
I'm
this table.
absolutely fine with. I'm absolutely fine with anybody who's not
As you
dressed
start,
like you.
as you start walking back over to where they are, to their table to sit down, you look over to where Rashid and this Mikolaj character were, and Ivan, and you see that Ivan is still there, but Rashid is no longer.
Did I at least did I hear the outburst that Elf guy made and then see Candle
Yeah.
screwed over there? I'm gonna go follow him.
Okay. You guys sit down and you approach, and again, this kind of guy who intercepted you, like immediately is like, stands up with a smile, and he's like, "Turian Greycow, can I help you?" As he comes to shake your hand, he seems to be like, they're having this private conversations, and me like intercept, stop you from overhearing anything.
Who's Theodar of House Trivanus? I'm an associate of Candle's.
He is.
Take a seat. And he'll kind of walk back around. You see, he kind of like walks back around and like sets the two hands on like the back of the chair of his lord, and is just like eyeing around people.
Keep walking up.
And so Lysander Sylvathian, Lord Sylvathian, says, "Well, if you're in the business of finding missing people, I would greatly appreciate it if you could look for my wife Theria Sylvathian." Right. Stameraster and Sylvathian. Too close. Why did I do this to myself? He says, I believe she was kidnapped by a Drow war party, or at least an invasion party,
Oh shit.
Did she go
back in
missing?
the Mornshade, which you would know is the wooded area.
Okay,
that's
so she didn't
near-
go missing in the city.
She did not.
She went missing on the surface.
Mhm. Says she had a retinue with her. Most were dead. She was nowhere to be found. What I could find on the singular dead drow that was left behind and not brought with them, they wore a banner in black with a depiction of a chain across it.
It certainly sounds like the drow. As far as the city,
Excuse me, a red banner with a black chain depicted.
as far as the city is concerned, we've primarily been dealing with the Ivory Syndicate, and we've got strong reason to believe they've been working with the drow. Well,
And
the Ivory Syndicate.
Grey Cowl kind of like leans over and whispers something into his master's ear, and he kind of nods, and it would seem that our intelligence says that there is a connection there, yes.
We've hit one safe house in the city as well as broken up an active slave trade with we believe to be a hag of some sort. All work the Skygate didn't seem terribly interested in doing. How long ago did your wife go missing?
It's been a number of weeks now, 2.5 weeks to be precise. I traveled by the fastest means possible to get here. Arriving at this dinner was more so to have some conversations with people to make them take this seriously, because missives would not be enough. And as you said, the Skyguard are stubborn and don't see themselves as great protectors, yet only worry about keeping things down, not saving those who are lost below.
It's just
Go,
if it's-
Rescue Rangers.
If it was several weeks, there wouldn't be any tracks. We are currently working on acquiring a Deep Delver's Red to begin expeditions into the Underdark. Though of course, other entrances to the Underdark do exist. Obviously.
I'm going to tell him we are ready and willing to commit any resources to this, as I believe the Drow are also in possession of my mother.
There's lots of.
Yeah,
there's
what a
lots of,
reveal.
what's the word? Royalty being abducted, which is concerning.
I apologize for your loss, and you might be one of few people who can understand the concern I have. Especially a high elf of nobility. I do not wish for my wife to be in the hands of drows. They hate me and my kin more than most.
How far is this forest from Skygate?
A good distance.
A good
It's
distance.
in the same region of the map, but like mountain range that Skygate is in, big ass desert for Mornshade, this big forest over here.
It's like
It's-
getting abducted in like California.
It took this guy
and-
like 2 weeks
like-
to get here from the Mornshade.
Right, 'cause
traveling fast.
Because if we're gearing up for Underdark expeditions anyway, we could always try and find the entrance that they used. But that requires us, doing the thing that this campaign's not really about, which is going to the surface for a couple of
Yeah, we
weeks.
can't do that.
You certainly could head that way. As far as like, you don't know where Drow City and stuff is, if there is any sort of culture underground,
Right.
and which of these accesses would be closer, and you don't know where the access is there.
Right, but if we could find that access, then we could potentially. There might be some sign to
Right,
follow.
but they could have traveled 2 weeks through the Underdark to get back to their
So
city.
it'll take you
so it's
guys at
like-
least 2 weeks to get there,
Yeah.
to start the trail.
I'm going to ask him if he has any way of getting us
Deep
Deep
Delver's
Delver's Writ so that we can get started on this as soon as possible.
I would certainly try and help however I could, though my efforts to get any sort of legitimate access into the Underdark has been stammered by the same people who won't go in there and find my wife.
Well, we do have some access.
We do have some access.
We were told specifically not to go that way, but what's an
Well,
angel know?
But there's nobody in the city who told us specifically.
What? We didn't know that this went to that. We thought it was just another tunnel.
You know,
I was
who
exploring
cares
the
about
mine.
some stupid angel?
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's
There's-
pretty though.
But there's money down there.
Did you see her wings?
Did you see she was flying?
I don't understand your obsession with the flying thing.
Because he can't fly.
He's a kinku.
Yeah, because I'm a.
I
bird
don't
that
care
can't
about his.
fly.
Sorry, paraphrase. I don't care about your obsession with girls.
Yeah, that you both are going.
Oh, sorry. It's not that I don't understand. It's that I don't care.
You're gonna make me say
I'm
it.
gonna say it.
I don't care that you broke your.
I'm leaving. Wandering off into the Underdark and starting a new character.
Well, I mean, those two things are pretty close to the tie, so yeah. If you put her up in the under, you probably have to roll a new character.
I mean, that is like we are essentially fully prepared to begin expeditions into the Underdark.
Oh, for sure.
And we do have, I mean, as we've discussed, there is the official route in and out of the Underdark.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say we have rumors of another. I'll bring it up to the rest of the company.
Dragons.
And we'll see.
Rumors.
Dragons. Drow. Rumors of Drow. And we'll see what route we decide to take, but I assure you we'll do everything we can to find your way.
Oh, and Doom. Don't
If
forget
you
the Doom.
can bring her back, you will absolutely be handsomely rewarded.
Sorry.
Sorry about your mother, by the way.
That's pretty heavy.
You can tell that to
That's
anybody
pretty
else.
heavy.
It's like, it's really, yeah, that's,
Now Candle knows.
wow.
Which basically means the rest of us know.
Are you gonna tell everyone?
The guy who was
have a
talking
friend
to his
listening to
sleeve
me.
earlier is going to take out a small
Yeah.
piece of parchment and scrawl something on it and kind of fold it up and hand it to you and say, if you're looking for further conversation about this is where we're staying. I don't know.
Secret away
I will.
in my fence.
My lord will be here
There's
as
no one
long
else.
as he can, though needs of the court may take him back. I'd prefer to go with him, but if this is a matter that needs resolved, I will certainly stay here and handle it personally.
We'll do what we can to help, and I will hide the note in my fez because
You keep it
nobody
under your
would.
hat.
Yeah, because
No one would look under the fez.
nobody would look under a servant's fez.
Disgraceful. You can't even let a man have his fez.
I love the idea that like Candle gets like taken away and strip searched, but they just leave his fez. So it's
That was
like,
a part of it.
he didn't have anything. There's nothing on him.
I'm certainly not smuggling anything on me. Speaking of which, is this like a dance floor? Is there like people dancing?
You know, there's some. As the night goes on, you see like they start to bring out courses of food, and it's mostly like big robust food, like hogs on pipes on spits that are like roasted with apple in the mouth kind of stuff. It's hearty, but as people eat and drink and more of that happens, especially near Beta Bronze Tap's table, chairs start getting kind of moved aside and space starts getting made. The music is more background music, but as people seem to liven up, there is the opera hammers seem to kind of switch up their tempo to make it more upbeat and dance. The dancing is more traditional dwarven dancing. It's lots of heavy stomps and movements. Think Ben whenever he has
It goes
his
crazy.
it's lots of those kind of movements.
Right.
But that kind of dancing does start.
Okay. My retainer friend,
Nismet?
Nismet, ask her if she wants to dance.
She's gonna eye you up and down.
I'll give her my best eyebrows.
Roll for eyebrows.
Alright.
See the charisma
Can you
goes.
give her the smolder?
I mean, you're not leaving much to the imagination.
Exactly. Is it persuasion?
Yep, sure.
14.
14. Gonna eye you up and down, stares at the smolder. Thought you'd never ask. She's gonna link up arms with you and you guys go out and dance on the dance
After
floor.
this, you'll have my autograph.
Aww.
Ah, romance.
Yeah.
Drink away our sorrows.
Can I interest you in some moonbeam?
That's just the moonbeam, absolutely.
You don't even use it, just like trade them there.
Bottle of it.
Pretty sure this is the only one of these at this party.
Bag or something? Do you have a brown paper bag?
Throughout the party, I think Xerax is just gonna keep having conversation with Eighth, just try to squeak out more information about the book she's like kind of stuff like that. Yeah.
Go ahead and you can make a persuasion or deception check to try and have a
Okay,
conversation
they're
with
both
her in a way that is intentional in getting information from her.
Alright.
I would also like to.
That is an 18 on persuasion.
For somebody who you think is very astute at charismatic gains in conversation. Like, she seems... You find her at a loss when Elle, like, for a long time during the conversation, it is like talking to the most elegantly decorated brick wall you've ever talked to. In that, like, everything is flowery and well-spoken and very, like, engaging without giving anything out. But you can tell as she's talking that this is a front she's intentionally putting on, and that not necessarily, like, she's nefarious or evil per se. You get the intent that, like, she's basically saying, like, there's not like one book she's looking for. She's looking for anything that is of value, that is texts, whether it is morally right or wrong to use or have these things, whether they belong somewhere else or in their family's private collection. And you get the sense that she'd be willing to do bad things to get stuff like that. You get the sense like she's not necessarily an evil person, but she is somebody who is very driven in her goals.
She's willing to do what she has to do to. She's willing to do what she has to do to achieve what she wants.
Drow torturing for dummies.
No, that's
Okay.
did go very bad for somebody.
I'm going to ask Morbin if he wants to dance.
Warbin dance? No. Warbin will happily dance with you and do it. Roll me a performance real quick.
Oh.
You two. You're out there dancing. We'll start. Oh, Miss Matt crushing it on the
Of course she is.
I would also like to get sit over a drink.
21.
Hey, 21. Warbin does a lot better this time.
Awesome.
He's not an exceptional dancer, but he's holding his own, and he's actually able to lead on a couple of the songs you don't have to lead for him. You and Miss Matt, it's like, you guys are tearing up. You guys, it's this tiny dwarven bard woman in kind of loose, fancy clothing, and you in your like skimpy gimp suit, just tearing, cutting a rug through the dance floor.
Listen, I'm here to cause a distraction.
I would like to keep the corner of my eye on Rashid's table, just to see if Rashid ever shows back up.
Okay.
He's got a big sack of gold over his back, like a bandit.
He's got a bag stuffed full of stuff that he's just like shoves under the table and sits there like nothing's wrong. Because if he never shows back up, that's potentially bad.
Immediately you don't see him.
Okay.
As the night goes on, who knows?
Alright.
Okay.
I guess we're... Time passes.
Are you guys doing anything else? Any other conversations you're trying to have with people throughout this?
I'm just lobbying, basically.
He's lobbying.
Just spreading the good word of True Dwarf.
Eventually, like, you harass Father Holge in like 2 or 3 conversations, and then he just goes and sits down with the other family of stone person and starts drinking and having conversation with her.
Okay. There you go. Lobbying successful. Opponents defeated. Yeah.
I will ask Mormon if he wants to introduce me to any of his family members.
Go ahead and roll me a persuasion with advantage. Go ahead with advantage.
You roll a second one.
You
You roll 2.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, 11 plus your persuasion, which is plus 5, so 16.
16. He'll say, if it's something you're comfortable with, I'd love to introduce you to my brother and mother. Just get to know them. My mother can be a bit stern.
This dragon going, oh.
Of course.
And he'll go first to his mother, as any good son would do. And he'll walk up and he'll say, Mother, this is my honored guest and date for the evening, Dame Lala, a knight from the Dragonlands. And this is my mother, Lasgorga Cragcrown. And this old, wrinkled woman who you see, like, she seems to be mean-mugging. Instead of, like, kind of zoning out, seems to be mean-mugging. And as, like, a glance over her shoulder, she's angrily staring at Nizmet as she spins on the dance floor.
If I was 100 years younger.
And she kind of turns and looks up towards you. You're very gold.
Thank you.
And she, like, slowly reaches a shaky hand and shakes yours.
You're very good.
I've been seeing you eyeing my boss over there. Maybe I can get you a little meeting with him later tonight.
You know the gangly man in the strange clothes?
I do.
He's very
Oh my god, Lala's gonna whore out Axel.
I would very much like to meet him.
I'll arrange that sometime in the evening. I will absolutely.
Yes.
We should just get a portrait commissioned of him in that outfit and just gift it to her, and we get ourselves a Deep Delver's
She'll turn towards Warbin and say, I like her. Touching out his hand.
Hey, let's go.
Enjoy the evening's festivities.
Thank
and
you.
Warbin, have someone bring me some more ale, please. I'm running light. And he'll be like, of course, of course.
So we have an awful lot of people that are just like, find this person, find this person, find this person.
He'll
this
flag
thing.
down a servant as they're walking by and ask him, like, if you will get my mother some more of the finest ale you can find back there. And they'll, of course, right away, Prince Warbin.
It's a good thing you didn't ask for the finest wine.
Probably just about finish the bottle.
And then walking over, he'll say, Brother, may I introduce you to my honored guest and date for the evening, Dame Lala, and this is my brother, King Ivelius Cragcrown, and his wife, Queen Shanta.
It is very nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well. And you can see that the king, seems like someone who's pretty happy to be rich. He seems simple and content. He has a fine head of long mahogany hair and a long but well-kept beard. He wears fine clothes, and the helmet he's wearing, now that you're close, you can see, like, it looks like it's made of stone in its kind of shape and texture, but as you get close and look, it's got, like, a sheen to it, like it's made of a dark metal, or at least plated in a dark metal.
Oh.
And it looks like it's very sharp and craggy. It is a crown of crags almost. It is not like a fine ornate metal thing. It almost looks like a crown made of rough-hewn stone that's been cased in some sort of metal to maintain it. The wife next to him has porcelain white skin and braided deep black hair. And she very, like, kind of lavishly extends a hand and shakes yours. And is like, a lady knight of the Dragonlands. Very interesting.
I mean, no, I wouldn't say I'm the first.
I would assume so, but at the very least, it's curious. Not met many knights of any dragon knight order. Why do they call it the gentleman knights if ladies are allowed? And you see Ivelius be like, now, no need to be rude. Welcome to the festivities. I hope you're enjoying them.
Thank you.
Any honored guest of my brother is an honored guest of this.
Is it sad that I never considered that either? I was like, why is it called the gentleman?
Extra special good.
Yeah.
Seems like a little sexist over here, but I will pass that.
It seems like it's the patriarchy inherent in the system. Yeah.
Perfect. Cool. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be friendly.
Okay.
Here we go.
Being friendly.
And once we're done with that, I'm gonna march over towards you.
You guys are cutting a rug on the dance floor, and you see Lala walking up with Warbin closely behind. And as you're gonna walk up, he's like, "You don't have to. She's excitable. That whole bag of I love my mother, but." And then you kind of, as you get up, he's trying to, you don't have to do this, but
I'm gonna go up to him and be like, "Someone would love to meet you."
Go. I love meeting people.
I love meeting people.
Well, I'm gonna look towards Warbin and be like, "Do you want to introduce?"
Don't worry, Warbin. I don't always dress like this.
it's fetching on you.
Love triangle.
You're a real frequent person.
Oh no.
Listen, Warbin. I won't do it if you say not to, but I am here to liven up the party. I unfortunately got myself in trouble with what's her name?
Beta Bronstaff.
I keep thinking like Bronstaff, but I'm like Beta. Beta thought I was super boring the last time we met because I was like all business. So I'm here to liven up the party. However, it's your mom, so like I don't want to do anything about it.
Look, I won't tell you not to. I'll warn you that you're making your own decision here. You're your own man, and I'm not gonna get in your way.
He's not gonna get his mother's way, is the truth.
I'm not going to tell you to do this. However.
Well, then why don't you introduce those twos, and I will switch with you with your dancing partner.
Oh, listen, Morbin, I'm not going to throw you under the bus here. I can be my own man on this one.
I prefer that. Thank you.
What are you thinking?
And he kind of like walks next to you and he's like, don't want to look like a pansy in front of my date here, but my mother terrifies me.
Understandable. You should have seen my mother. It's just like, cut to, this is like the cut to, where it's like, Axel has a very normal, he's like incredibly normal. So his mom is like a baker lady with like a big wooden spoon. This is like,
I'm a big faster mother. Kneading some dough.
But it's like same energy.
Same energy.
Yeah, I'm going to when we finish the piece, the music, I'm gonna say, well, this will certainly be a showstopper. I'm going to.
All eyes on you.
Axel's going to channel his best courtly demeanor as best he can, and
also
formally introduce himself to the queen in Dwarvish.
Okay. What is it just like? What do you say? Can you give me the exacts?
Let's see. This humble servant is Axel Savola of the escort of Beta Bronstap. A pleasure to meet you.
I am Gorka Cragcrown. My husband died 83 years ago.
My deepest condolences.
It's quite alright.
I give her the full nightly bow.
See what happens next.
The whole nightly bow. The lady like the kiss in the hand. I am ecstatic to be at your party.
It's not my party, but we can make it a party for me. Would you like to go back to the dance floor?
Absolutely. Listen, this is yes-anding right now.
And you see he kind of looks over her shoulder and like gestures over a servant who comes over and scoots her chair back for her, and she kind of like grabs the edge of the table and she slowly comes. And as she steps off the chair, you can see her like it's like as she goes well below the chair. As she is a super tiny lady who has turned into this like hunched over little old kyphotic lady now.
I like to think her acrobatic stats like off the chart.
She just want to be Yoda. She very slowly walks around the table towards the center of the dance floor.
Yep. All eyes on me.
Yeah, there's a lot of.
Yeah. Oh.
Borat's dancing with her.
Exactly. With the queen. Borat is dancing with the literal queen of England.
With the grand queen herself. And you all will, you walk, after probably a good 3 minutes of walking very slowly beside her to get to the dance floor, I'm going to need a performance check.
Performance check. Am I allowed to guidance myself?
Sure.
Actually, I will guidance her.
Okay. Let's add a d4 to this business.
Crit.
Yes! Let's go!
The chaos ensues!
You thought your dancing before was good. And all of a sudden, this old lady, like, you hear like a... and she starts to cut around with you. She's like, I haven't felt this good since I was a balmy 470 years old. As you don't
look a day over 460.
Oh, stop! As you start tearing up the dance floor with Her Majesty, the Grand Queen, Gorka Cragcrown.
I don't have a broader plan here. This is the situation we're in.
All eyes on you in the center of the dance floor.
All eyes on you, and you're killing it.
You are absolutely between guidancing her and making her get a little extra pep in her step, and your absolute just
destruction on
the dance floor. It is amazing.
I'll look over at Ace and be like, Well, that's peculiar.
We're gonna need another bottle.
And you're kind of like twisting around and you catch eyes with Beta for one moment and she's just smiling. She's like, it's just like, your guns at you.
Oh my god. I will get us another bottle of wine from the kitchen.
You going as Beta
Just
Bronstaff's
blasted.
escort has made this so much better.
Everybody else is partying hard. We're drinking down our sorrow.
Party and hardy.
I'm just
Cutting up a rug out there. What's the rest of y'all doing now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess I'll go introduce Candle to Vlad too.
Okay.
I'm gonna go sit with them again.
You go sit down there. You sit at the table with a regal human woman, knight goblin, and a half-orc. They all introduce themselves as Sir Vlad, as Vlad introduces himself as Vlad Cheraboga, Queen Bara Cheraboga, and the knight reintroduces himself to you as Sir Munta the Valiant.
I will introduce myself as Candle, the Gloomstalker Ranger.
And Sir Munta's like, Gloomstalker? Very interesting. Oh, no, you never met Sir Munta, did you? Yeah. He's very interesting. Gone on many expeditions.
Stepped foot in the Underdark a time or two, but we're working on getting a Deep Stalker's writ for the company at the moment.
I hear that's hard to come by these days.
They have been.
I'm doing my best.
Yeah, some people are working real hard at it.
Can't say we can help with that, but you seem like a able-bodied group between. This is Vlad speaking now. An able-bodied group between the two of you, and
Just don't look too hard.
is that that's your boss?
I'll do anything for business.
He's a
Of the two
slut
bosses I
for
have,
money.
he's the more capable of the two.
He certainly seems
Quite
capable.
I don't know exactly what dance move accompanies that statement, but it is a
flourish.
So we can do a full split.
You drop to a full split, still a full head taller than her, bounce back up.
My eyes had a blush I detect.
I'm surprised he isn't. But yeah, we'll certainly keep your group in mind if any future need of such a group arises.
We're certainly happy to help, and our skill sets are varied.
For sure.
Varied skill set. Gloomstalker and whatever he is.
a wizard, would you imagine?
Well, are you gonna make an old lady happy tonight?
Absolutely not. As far as this train goes.
I'm gonna.
No, he's got his date for the evening.
Oh, that's true.
I'm gonna revisit Orbin. Because last time we interacted.
Yeah, wrestling match.
Oh yeah, wrestling
You're
match. I
right.
called him out.
I'll just go.
Are you gonna?
Are you gonna try to wrestle her boyfriend again?
I'm gonna go to him.
Has Rashid shown back up yet?
He still has not.
Worrying.
I'm just gonna say, Warbin Cragcrown, the truest dwarf I've ever met.
Friend of Lala, that I don't quite remember the name of.
I'm Doomer, true dwarf.
He's not my friend.
Mr. Dermot. True dwarf?
True dwarf.
He's just a coworker.
He's just a coworker, don't they?
Very well, yes. Dermot, very nice to remake your acquaintance. Not looking to cause trouble again, are you?
Oh, no. This is a fine event you have here. One for true dwarfs.
There's certainly a lot of dwarves here.
Yes, that is true. Not all of them true, though.
Oh,
Here we go.
Everyone buckling. Grandpa's talking about politics.
Here comes the backstory. Tell me, what do you know of Father Holge?
I understand that he's a very respected cleric.
He's a fool! He's a fool obsessed with mushrooms. There's no use for him. He does not know Morden. Morden does not know him or has never chosen him.
Should we kick him out?
I just want you to know that.
Very good. I think that he's well respected. Don't know him personally. Perhaps you should have some more drink and forget about an untrue dwarf and enjoy some drink with some of the true ones here.
Ah, yes. That sounds true indeed.
You're too nice to him.
He's a sweetheart.
He seems to be trying to like politely be like, you know, when like a crazy person downtown like walks up to you and starts talking to you, and you're like, leave me alone. He seems to be kind of trying to do the like, yeah, well, you should probably go to some other people and drink and talk with them.
Well, I'm gonna take your arm and be like, well, we'll be going now, and then like, we're gonna go.
What with the true business? We've got some dancing to do.
Yes.
Is it getting pretty late to the party at this point?
Fairly.
Okay. I suppose I should go talk to Ivan.
Okay. You go to yeah, okay.
You know, just like I guess. Well, Ivan. Should I be worried about Rashid yet?
No. Hopefully not.
Were you planning on him being gone this long?
A bit longer than the timeline I worked out, but should be fine. He's capable.
He is.
Paid him enough, he better be.
He is capable. He is also
Quite stupid.
has a bad habit of getting himself into trouble. Which direction did he go?
And you see him kind of look over the shoulder, not currently there, the shoulder of the chair where the queen was, to a door behind that table at the back, and kind of glance back over to you and say, I think he went to find the bathroom.
Yikes. Your friend's dead.
I'm gonna need a distraction.
I'm doing my best.
That's true. How
many more distractions can we make?
You,
All eyes on the center of the dance floor currently.
you somehow managed to keep coming up with new ones. Does it seem like they're distracted enough with the the fire burning on the dance floor that I might be able to get through that door?
Little shorty fire burning on the dance floor.
Somebody call
911.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Somebody come get her.
She dancing like a stripper.
I'll have you know this is a queen we're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not the one who's dancing like a stripper.
You're right. It's
It's the actual stripper who's dancing like a stripper.
How do you I'm a wizard of Hyrule now. According to all those guys, I'm a wizard. You can't.
You
prove
think that
otherwise.
you would be in an advantageous moment to avoid eyes from a lot of people.
Okay. I go see if I can get this guy out of trouble.
Are you trying to sneak through that back door
I
then?
think so.
Give me a stealth check. You will have advantage.
Oh.
23.
23. In through the door. And you can see a hallway that is dimly lit in most places, but seems to lead back further into other rooms and things. Go and roll me a perception.
15.
You do hear some voices further away, having what seems like fairly stern conversation.
I will drift quietly that direction.
Roll me one more stealth.
Still with advantage?
This
Or
one will just be with advantage because they're having a loud conversation.
that is 15 on stealth.
Okay. You kind of round a corner and you see Rashid with his hands up like this, talking to a dwarf that's short, stocky, and in very thick, heavy armor, and is like, I'm just looking for the bathroom. And you see the dwarf kind of cross his arms, looking at him, and is like, I don't buy that for a second.
Is this this does he look like a guard, like sky guard, or
He looks like a Cragcrown guard, not a Skygate guard.
have I seen enough Cragcrown guards to know what their officers look like?
Yeah, sure.
Because I will cast disguise self
All right.
because I'm only 5 feet tall.
Yeah.
You're not too tall to be a stormtrooper.
No, I aren't you a little short for a stormtrooper? And I'll because I'm a Kenku and have mimicry as well, I'll walk up and in the best dwarven voice I can mimic, say that I'll take care of this so he can go back on patrol.
Give me an advantaged deception. Or performance, whichever you prefer.
13 on deception.
Sir, Well done. Found this one snooping about. Seems to be trying to. I don't know. He's up to no good. I'll be back on patrol, sir. Right away.
Well done. I'll make sure this is no good.
Thank you, sir. He starts walking away.
Fucking hell, you idiot. Get the fuck out of here.
Thank you.
I will rejoin the party.
She kind of walks in the door like. You're walking.
Bailing your ass out of the
What do you want, candle?
Yeah. No shit.
Ivan! I think it's. I'm feeling a bit sick from the pork. I think we gotta head out. And Ivan looks over his shoulder at you and like back and like him. Should have hired better help. A stronger stomach.
Listen, man.
They stand up and start making their way towards the door.
I've got a platinum bar so far, my keister, I'm gonna choke on it.
I'm gonna mark down that spell slot just in case.
That's okay.
There's still plenty of time in this party for it to go fight.
After some killer moves, you help this doddering old lady back to her chair.
There you go.
And she says, "That was very fun.
I'm glad you had a
find
good
me
time."
whenever you want to."
You got it.
New contact ad.
The queen.
The queen mother.
I'm adding it. You can't stop me. She said it.
Oh my god, yeah.
I'm too old to be shy. I'm no time for that.
She
You can add friend. You can add to your bonds. Her Majesty Queen Lazgorka Cragcrown, if you would like.
I'm gonna. This is gonna be uncomfortable.
I want to perform a party trick.
Okay.
Ooh, okay. I want to do a dagger swallowing, sword swallowing.
You don't have your sword.
You don't have your swords.
I have my daggers. My jugglers.
You couldn't take them in.
You couldn't take
If
it.
you
Yeah.
have them, you smuggle them, and if you
Damn.
to show them,
Not allowed.
that wouldn't go great. But
Sorry.
if you could certainly like, there are there's
Yeah.
you can see next to the dwarf, the flint beard, the like forge pan you're with, there is a person who has a like long
May I-
sword on his hip, a fire genasi.
Oh, high
The guy you knew as
tensions,
Valorian
yeah,
Hawks,
swords,
who's kind of a
something
merc,
like
who's known in the area.
Okay.
And if you
May
see
I
a-
borrow your sword?
Why not? Don't stab anybody.
Just myself.
Stabs it with it.
No, like this.
Can you just stick it back in him? Damn. I need to learn to stop being so trusting.
And played again.
Once again.
Famous merc in the city, huh?
And I'm going to gather everyone around and perform one of my famous back in our homeland sword swallowing performances.
Okay.
As in, I swallow the sword, bring it out, it is covered in fire.
Okay. Let's see a performance check. If you expend your breath weapon for the day to do this, I will give you advantage on it.
No.
Ooh, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
2d20s. There you go. Plus your performance, which is 4. Plus an 18, 22.
22. It is a miraculous flourish as the flame not only is like wreathing the blade, but a gout of it shoots out of your mouth. And there's a great cheer of the people around you. People seem to be very.
Yes.
There you
As you're kind of walking away from the queen, you are intercepted by a small dwarven woman with stark white hair and a brooding black dragonborn following closely behind her, who's like, "I don't believe we've met yet."
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. I'm Axel Savola.
Ruby Heart. Are you gonna want to dance too?
I'll dance everyone. Valeria Runeheart.
Oh, the Rune Hearts. I'm somewhat of a arcanist myself.
You don't say.
I'll do like a little like prestidigitation. I know it's at odds with my current attire, but I do have quite the wizard's hat.
Wizard's hat, you say? Learn it in the arts.
Oh, the arcane arts are my life's blood.
What did you say is your preferred school?
Illusion.
Illusion.
I'm quite the illusionist.
Interesting. Very interesting. And she's absolutely, she seems to be like eyeing you up and down. Not in a like,
Right.
Sort of way, but in a like,
Right.
roll me a insight.
Insight.
Roll me an insight on this.
You're like, wait, there's a roll for this. Insight, I have +2, 16.
16. She seems very interested in the fact that you have like a magical background. That you're like a caster, and she's like, a cat, like, interesting. Well, Runehearts are always looking for adept practitioners of the arcane arts. Perhaps at some point we could find some use for you.
You seen the way he dances? That shit's magic.
That's right.
You got the queen to stand up.
Are you here
He's
with
part of the pickle
this
club over there. You know
group
what I
that
mean?
seems to be causing trouble every corner they find?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Are all of them with you? Which ones are with you?
Let's see. I'm with the 2 drunkards over there. This
Yeah.
wonderful dragonborn. The dwarf who can't look straight. And my good friend, Zeraxis.
I didn't even get a thing.
Who I think you've actually met before.
I seem to be an acquaintance of one of my.
An acquaintance of an associate. That's how these parties
Yeah.
go, I understand.
Yes.
Yes, we were with the Vickelroy Adventuring Company. Although right now, Mercantile Company, but soon to be.
Soon to be
Soon
adventuring.
to be adventuring. It's true.
Keeping busy in the city?
Oh, we had this run-in with a... What was the bug-eyed thing?
Umber Hulk.
Umber Hulk. We had a run with an Umber Hulk. Terrible thing, but no fatalities. No small parts from our work, but no fatalities, which was excellent.
Heroic indeed.
We're nothing but heroic.
Trying to save the city from itself.
Of course.
Nobody got hurt. Well,
Well,
nobody.
nobody knew.
nobody-
Somebody might have got hurt, but I didn't hear about it.
Are any of them wizards or spellcasters like yourself?
Oh, let's see. Lala is a bard.
Paladin.
What?
I'm a paladin.
Oh. I was like, she's a paladin? That's news to me.
I was just gonna go like, I thought we were just gonna go down the line and just say what our class was. It's just
Bard.
paladin.
Paladin, cleric, fighter.
You say like,
Yeah,
you know,
but none of them are arcane.
you do kind of give like a brief
Yeah.
rundown of like what they do,
Yeah.
but not necessarily like none of them are arcane practitioners.
Right, exactly. I'm like, they have their tricks, but no arcane.
I'd like to see you be invisible to Darkseid.
That's true. That's a good trick.
Do you say that he's a gloomstalker?
I do.
Okay, interesting. Gloomstalker. Not many of those in the city. Very sought after. Good to have one for an adventuring company.
Yeah, once you get to know one of them, they're all underneath. I run into more gloomstalkers than you I can shake a stick at.
I guess it's one of those a friend of an associate sort
Exactly.
of
It's a
situations.
close-knit community for sure.
Well, it's very nice to meet you. Your group certainly seems
the
interesting.
image of him actually like,
Perhaps we'll
being
need to get
professional,
into it.
having this conversation, and
I look
the
forward to
fucking-
And she'll shake your hand again. We'll start walking away, and
What are you talking about? He looks
the
great.
large, the big brooding black dragonborn will kind of walk up to you, smirk, and give like a bow and follow closely.
I give him a wink. I don't swing that way, but he doesn't know that.
Closer to you can see that he's got one eye that looks like a false one. Kind of like weird. It's somewhat well matched, but looking closer, it's pretty apparent.
Can I make an Arcana check? Like, does it look magical, or is it just like
Sure, you can roll an Arcana.
I mean, it's like technically be like just tech magic, but I don't have a ritual to cast it right now. So, Arcana 15.
15. These things can certainly be enchanted. If he's a bodyguard for a magical group of people, you wouldn't be surprised if they gave some sort of enchantment to it. But you can't discern what it is just by looking at it.
Right. I know it doesn't have like runes written into it or anything. So.
Nothing like that.
Yeah, nothing obvious. So that's how you really fuck up someone is you make it like have all these runes and shit. It's just like
It's just a
monster
Monday
guy.
Well, then that's how you get murdered for your Monday high.
It's fair. Jokes on them. It's just like. Alright. Well, the rune hearts. I got my name in there. I'm rubbing elbows, and not in the ways that you might expect.
Is she interested in magical people because she wants to traffic them?
Ugh, that would be unfortunate. But if we talked about making somebody a target, and I'm happy to be a target.
I think you've made yourself enough of a target this
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Listen,
This was supposed to be the party about me, and you
I'm
think
certainly exposed. Oh, I don't think I'm that exposed, but
No, don't try and kidnap me.
I'm just a wizard.
Any other conversation you're wanting to have with anybody?
I don't think so.
Yeah.
Everyone talked out? Partied out?
I'm waiting until the end of the party.
Okay.
I just don't think of. I just don't know.
You're leaving early, getting a good night's sleep. Yep. Responsible. At a certain point,
Once it seems like no fights are going to
the Panther Tabaxi does approach towards Lala, and he'll walk up and say, "Greetings, I'm Master Smoke. They call me the Snoring Mountain, and he said, I'm of the Owl Bear Temple."
Catch the
Nice to
smoke.
meet you.
You want this smoke?
And you know, having had a couple interactions, Tabaxi in this world tend to be named Smoke, Mirage, Aurora, like these kind of things tend to be their names. So it seems like Smoke is his actual name, but the Snoring Mountain is his title in the temple, perhaps? Or at least a kind of nomen.
His claim to fame.
His claim to flame. He
Came to flame.
I came to flame. And I'm all out of torches. He's going to say, I understand that you're a part of a trade company here.
Yes, we are. Yes, I am.
I'm looking to find a partnership with someone in the city. I'm looking to find a bit of a sponsor for some programs at our temple. We operate out of here trying. There's a lot of misguided young people in the city of Skygate and in the surrounding craglands, and we look to help find purpose for them in our monasteries and temples. Let them have an upbringing that gives them some rigidity and purpose.
Let's punch a guy to death. Sorry.
I suppose what I'm saying is we look for sponsors in local mercantile companies and things, and in return try to offer our services as diplomats, sort of, not to say celebrity sponsors, but sort of to make a good name, a show of the morality that your companies represent. Something like that would absolutely be negotiable. I'd be happy to work on with you or whoever is in charge of these things.
My boss is over there. I point to the guy.
He's a merchant.
Yes, he normally does not look like that.
Well, Vickelroy would be the merchant.
Oh, Vic Roy.
Yeah, exactly.
Vickelroy. Vaguely familiar name. Where do you operate out of?
What's the place?
The inverted peaks.
Yeah, inverted peaks.
Inverted Peaks.
I will look you up
That's
and
my
maybe
boss.
talk to your boss at a different time. He seems to be enjoying himself at the moment. I'd hate to interrupt.
He's been definitely enjoying himself. We would love to talk to you about that. That's actually something we are very much interested in. So
Good to see good people still exist in the areas where money is being made.
indeed.
The higher echelons of society.
A pleasure to meet you. Enjoy your nap.
That's not us.
And,
Yeah, they don't need it.
and the Snoring Mountain will wander away.
Eh?
Oh, I like that name.
He doesn't happen to have
Snoring
some suspicious canaries around.
Who knows if he's magical? He's no visible canaries. Only the invisible cursed ones.
Cursed canary is the
Cursed canaries. That's right. Elvis Springsteen cover band. Any other conversations anyone else is wanting to have throughout the evening? As the evening starts winding down, no combat seems to happen.
Okay. That's
Yeah, I guess we're eyeballing the Forge clans. Are they? How,
They don't.
Keep
You
it
can tell,
separate.
like, it's a very old school problem to need a bodyguard at one of these. Everybody's pretty amenable to each other. It's just like I don't go and talk to this clan because I don't think that they're a real clan.
you're not allowed to sit with us.
Yeah, it's the clicks.
Okay, it went from barbarians fighting to now like passive aggressive bullshit.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I would prefer the barbarian fight.
Back in the day, it was like you had to have this guy because someone will try and split your skull if you don't. Now it's like I have this guy because that's what you do, and it lets me offer one of my friends another spot to come to a party.
Without breaking decorum. Not that decorum has been a big part of this party.
Clearly. But yeah,
Yeah.
the night starts winding down. Slowly, people kind of start filtering out and stuff.
I'm here with the boss, so
I'll say my
I can leave
goodbyes
when-
to Eighth and kind of be like, if you're ever looking for us, I'll just give her our location.
The inverted peaks. Good to know where you're at, and if you're ever if you ever find anything of interest, as I said, I have a family that can provide great compensation, both monetary and otherwise.
I once again just started like itching at my arm again, like.
And she said, it's not like a like the grip.
No, it's
Like,
like
it's just like a I got a little itch there.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a tingle to it.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Oh, she makes you feel tingly.
yeah, but not in the way you think. Probably not right now. Yeah.
Eventually?
I don't know. Depends on how often this character shows up.
So there's no other conversation, any other goodbyes or anything. On his way out, Father Holge is going to walk over to you and be like, "Now, son, I understand your frustration with the family. You will always be welcome back, so long as you will just see to it that you can accept our rituals and be one with the family of Stone again."
Grumble.
Grumble.
I just grumble.
And he'll start walking, and this old dwarven lady in a nun in a penguin outfit will just kind of. she walks by, eye you like they used to when you were in the dwarven equivalent of Catholic school. Swat you with stone rulers on the back of your knuckles.
Oh, ow.
I feel like they would just all burn Haker.
Every time they had to have a constant supply, they just crumble as a bucket full of them on the desk. That's all they're there for. Any other?
I
Goodbyes,
guess when we're
conversations?
headed out, I'll give the queen a bow. Because of course
She does the crumbly old equivalent of swooning. You're gonna
I think Will's right. We just get
Kinda
we get a
twiddle the
painting
fingers
made.
like,
Goodbye, strange gangly man.
You didn't say your name to
I did.
her.
No, I gave her a full introduction. In
Oh, okay. It was just
She's just old.
yeah, I guess.
Still, she forgot.
That's fine. Okay.
Bing.
I
Oh,
I think
Liv Trassa.
Tolvir Trassa
From letting me be in the party. And
and she'll be like, if your goal is to harass other clan leaders, I'd prefer if you were somebody else's escort next time.
that is your opinion.
Fair.
You should just be like, that was my dad.
very just. My ways are just. That's all I'm
And
saying.
she's like, I have no care for the family of Stone. Just doesn't do good for business to piss off the Moradin people.
There were lots of stonework.
Ugh. I will come back over to the group and rejoin.
Group of you
So-
of different variety starts to head out.
Jocelyn's gonna start batting her eyes, and Lala's gonna start batting her eyes. So, is that the end of the party?
Seems like the party's winding down. Warbin, awkward in corner, Warbin.
I'm going to ask if Warden wants to take a stroll with me since the party is kind of over. And do they have like a backyard or garden thing or?
There's a bit of a grotto around the side. It's a long walk from here. But I'd be happy to take it.
Perfect.
With good company, any long walk is a short one.
I'll walk up and just ask him like, do I need to stay here for this, or am I good? That's all I need to hear, because I was not about to leave, and then he'd be like, well, where's your bodyguard? What a piece of shit.
Still here?
You're still here. Oh my god. So you can go for a lovely evening stroll to the grotto.
Hey.
And if the rest of you are heading back towards your home, then
Go home.
go home. On your way out, there is only one last little conversation,
Oh.
and it is one Mikolaj? Ivan?
Ivan?
Something, walking up to you on your way out and being like, he seemed to have kind of been hanging out around on the outside, and he's like, pleasure to make your acquaintance. I always think my friends. And he shakes your hand, leaving a bag behind that jingles, and turns and starts walking towards the cart, and you can see inside is 10 platinum pieces.
Am I with Candle when this happens? Just do I be like, what the hell is that?
Just doing a favor for a friend.
That's a hell of a
Platinum pieces, goddamn.
It's 100 gold worth.
Money well earned.
Why don't you just give that to some orphan?
Still
You're
bitter.
so bitter.
We don't have an orphan kid around to give the money to.
And also, that's very convenient.
We gave it back. We
It's
gave it
very
back to his
convenient, but it's
dad.
just your money.
You still got like 500 gold out of that.
I love it.
What are you doing with your money? I'm spending all of my money on keeping all you suckers alive when we get to the Underdark.
And with that, I think that's where we're going to bring this
What
adventure
a line
to a
to
close.
end the episode.
As you all head off to your evening, the end of your evening festivities, a wonderful party night, some acquaintances gained, some conversations had, some trouble started, some rugs cut upon as you burned away the night on the dance floor, and all of it a bunch of lovely shenanigans. Thank you all for watching, and we will see you in the next episode of Skygate.